Howdy friends, Bernardo Spinell here from Nardio.net, and I hope you're all doing great. Today, I have the squeaky chair back. I'm sorry, but I can only afford cheap foldy chairs for my tiny apartment, and they get squeaky really fast. So if you start hearing that, I'm just broke. All right, so point of the video. Last time we spoke, I was talking about and complaining about Ugni miniatures. I've been buying Ugni miniatures since I started my Blitzbowl journey, and they've always been disappointing. Always been disappointing. I've bought Ugni miniatures for a variety of vendors on Etsy, and I have never, ever gotten perfect prints. I've gotten good enough prints. There have been a few times where, like, okay, this guy, this no-name person is selling some Ugni, like an entire Ugni team for like $20 free shipping or $22 free shipping. All right, for that price, I'm not expecting the greatest stuff. Sometimes I've gotten some decent things, and sometimes I've gotten what I paid for. And it's always been like, okay. I've always been in the back of my head annoyed because, like, you know, they look good on the render, but I've never gotten what I was supposedly paying for that I was expecting. And over time, I was blessed by getting great miniatures from other creators. I've gotten some Punga prints that are awesome. I've gotten Brute Fun mini prints that are perfection. And I've gotten a bunch of other things that, like, what I see on screen is what I get in hand. Ugni prints, no. So I gave up on them, honestly. And I was actually telling people for years, don't buy Ugni prints. They don't come out good. Only get them if you don't care how they actually look and you want to just like paint in the details yourself. And I've been saying that on stream and in quiet DMs with people for a while from my experience. I have nothing against the creator. I don't know who he, she, it, they, whatever is. I just know what I got. Someone left a comment that it's the middleman who's the problem. Like, well, if it's been through all the purchases I've done over the years, it could be more than the middleman. Maybe it's just the creator. And that's what I thought. Anywho, a while ago, I don't know how, but Ugni Miniatures got back on my in my radar because they were putting out a new print for set of prints for Easter with bunnies, a bunny team, and I was like, yo, that's dope. Something about this made me want in and made me want to risk Ugni Miniatures once again. And I was like, I was nervous though. So I was like trying to reach out to Ugni. So I think when he announced it, I'm gonna say he, if not, I don't care, okay? But I tried to reach out to him about these and I heard nothing back for a bit. And finally, someone let me know that Ugni does have some authorized vendors, and I reached out to someone who was supposed to be an authorized Ugni vendor, Solar Forge Miniatures, and I got these guys. And at first glance, when I got them, I was immediately disappointed. Immediately disappointed when I got these things, because right out of the box, they had glaring issues, and I'm like, what the heck, man? Like, and I've said this in the last video, but like, this guy's ear had a whole bunch of flash coming out, like, I don't know, almost a quarter of an inch out. His fingers are deformed. His face seemed deformed. A lot of the spiky details didn't come out that evenly. It's like, what the heck? This guy has layer lines going across his body, and this is a resin print. Just like deformations, almost as if he came in pieces. They badly glued them together. And like, some proportion stuff seemed weird, and the detail stuff seemed off. And I couldn't tell what was bad design versus just a bad print. And this guy has a mysterious side armor flap that just goes almost trying to go 90-degree angle for no reason. A few of these other guys have some wonky things. That said, if you look at them from a distance, after you paint them up, they look fine. They look fine, but if you actually care about what you get, they were very disappointing. And yeah, so I reached out again to Ugni Miniatures, like, yo, do you have a list of authorized vendors? Because the last person I tried was trash. And Ugni got back to me and sent me a list of people who are supposed to be authorized vendors, including Solar Forge Miniatures. And like, I looked on the list and I was like, wait, I know a guy here. There's someone called JG Forge, like I explained in the last video, who I bought from before. He gave me perfect quality prints, but I've been a little hesitant to use because he was really trying to get me to like review his stuff on the channel, and that kind of felt a little off-putting. But I really wanted these prints. And JG did a really good job before. So I reached out to JG and I said, like, just sent him a bunch of messages like, hey, man, do you have issues with Ugni miniatures? Have you had problems? He's like, no, they're great to work. They're great to print. I have no problems. I can reproduce it fine. Like, I'm like, all right. And I told them what I wanted. I wanted to have 2 Blitz Bowl teams. I wanted 3 linemen, 2 throwers, 6 linemen, 2 throwers, 2 catchers, 2 Croxagors, and 2 blitzers. With this, I can make the traditional Slan proxy team for the rabbits, or I could make like a human proxy team or an elf proxy team or something, because I love the sculpt so much that I kind of want to play with giving them different team roles and proxying them for different things, or maybe in the future making up a unique set of rules just for these minis because they seemed that impressive in concept to me. And let's see, JG said he could do it. And then I'm like, all right, so we'll see what happens. This will be my last time buying Ugni miniatures if they're trash. Because again, I've spent a good bit of money on them over the years. I bought a bunch of their product, and again, from disappointing Amazons to disappointing Dark Elves to disappointing Sylvaneth, I've gotten a good bit of Ugni disappointment. So how do they turn out? Honestly, great. I was going to have this like big old, like, it's a live stream reveal, and I'm like, wait a minute, Bernardo, you're kind of an asshole. I am an asshole. I am. And it hit me that, well, when no matter what time I schedule a live stream, it's not good for everyone. And then I was worried about honestly opening the box and just a diarrhea of curse words coming out of my mouth, because I kind of had a good feeling about JG Forge, but I didn't have a good feeling about Ugni miniatures. I honestly really didn't. So I was like, maybe I shouldn't live stream, because as much as my audience when I stream seems to enjoy when I get upset or when I start giving my honest opinion on things, I don't know how good that is for me on the internet. I'm not really a provocateur, and I don't really want to be known for when I get salty. This whole channel is supposed to be positivity. So I hope you get what I'm saying. So when I got the minis, I actually, all right, let's open them and give them a look. And I absolutely poured over these miniatures looking for problems. I took the time to compare what I just bought versus what I bought previously, and just trying to see the differences. Is it in my head? Were the first prints as bad as I thought? Was it like the 3D printer who was a problem, or was it Ugni miniatures? And I have to say it was a little bit of both. So with Solar Forge miniatures, there were quite a few errors that I think should have been spotted before the vendor put them in the box and sent them to me. Because again, as soon as I opened it, I saw the issues clear as day. So the fact that he put those, he just either printed and didn't care, or just said, fuck it, or didn't even look and just packed them away. I do not recommend Solar Forge miniatures on Etsy. Like, 0 out of 10, honestly. Especially after getting better prints. Fuck that guy. Fuck his store. Fuck you, Solar Forge miniatures, for just putting out a bad product and getting cashed. Fuck you. And then fuck you for making Ugni miniatures look bad, which are half-ass fucking work. Fuck you. I didn't really want to get salty, but hey. Because the JG Forge miniatures are that much better. The detail pops. Spikes look spiky. There's more texture on the armor. The prints are just cleaner and more defined. And they arrived cleaner. They were not any major problems that I can see when I was spending time looking at these. In fact, I was being kind of a dick. And I'm like, oh, how does the bottom of that miniature look? How does this all look? And these are printed perfectly. JG Forge cared about his reputation when he sent these out to me. He cared about how I felt as a customer having paid for these things. Solar Forge miniatures did not. Obviously did not. These two miniatures are very different. One is made with care and attention to detail, and one is not. And I will just say, so I don't ramble on too much, this makes me want to buy more from A, JG Forge. JG Forge knocked it out of the park. This is my second order from JG Forge. Just like the first order, was absolute perfection. So I look forward to shopping more with JG Forge on Etsy and or his website, which is outside of Etsy. I believe he gets a better cut if you buy from JG Forge's website, which I will have a link in the description below. I recommend it. This is a talented creator who cares about his work. He puts his best foot forward when he sends something out, and now I feel confident in spending my hobby dollars with him. Now about Ugni Miniatures. Honestly, I kind of feel bad for Ugni because he's kind of gotten a bit of a raw deal, because there is as a person who just creates these, and I don't mean to seem like condescending when I say that, but like his job is just to design these, get good supports on them, and that's it. That's it. You're in the best position if you 3D print your own miniatures, you buy the STLs directly from this person, and then, you know, you get to just make his vision come true and through. But when it comes to like third-party salesmen on Etsy and other platforms, he really doesn't have control over that. I mean, I don't know what his vetting process is for creators. From my limited understanding of how it works for some creators, you literally just buy into a tier on either Tribes or Patreon, and then you can be a vendor yourself. Now, I don't know if there's a Q&A process behind that. I don't know if like you have to send him like fresh sculpts every time there's a new one just to see if it's up to par. I doubt it. From my limited understanding, when this is done, sometimes some creators will ask for some minis to be sent to them. Some creators pay for those minis out of pocket, so there is no favorability, in theory. Now, what could happen is the guy on Etsy does a really good print because he wants this like kind of contract to officially sell miniatures, and he'll try his damnedest to impress the creator with quality work and do a good job. And then not so much for everyone else who shops from him, but it doesn't matter because now he's an authorized vendor. And if anyone complains, well, you know, this is the print. And this is where Ugni Miniatures kind of deserves a little bit of blame, or can do something to rectify this. I think Ugni Miniatures should get into the habit of doing 3D renders, 360-degree renders of all the miniatures he creates and shares them on social media, so that customers and potential customers can see and know what they should be getting, know what to expect, and know like what might bother them. I say that because I started getting used to seeing, these are the Amazon team from Ugni. I got used to the idea that what I saw on screen is not what I'm getting in print. And when I get miniatures that like might be missing details here or there, I can't really tell because Ugni Miniatures only just has like pictures from one direction of most of his models. So I don't know, like this side could have a bunch of detail and this side could be missing some detail, but is that intentional or not? Sometimes some of this, there's not really much uniformity in his work, I've noticed. And I don't know, I feel like by having 360-degree previews of his work, the customer could be better informed and maybe just see, maybe this is for me, maybe it's not. One thing that I thought was a glaring issue from the Solar Forge miniatures was this kangaroo. I was like, what kind of a weird print is this? Because on his left-hand side, you see a pocket that kind of seems like square and stretched a little bit because I guess he's moving forward. On his right side, the pocket is just horribly warped. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Is that a bad print? Because like, again, this guy had layer lines here. He has a few other defects. It's like, well, why? I thought either if this is a bad print or it's a bad design. And then later on, when I got this from JG Forge, this is much sharper with the details. The face detail just comes through 100% versus this where I had to paint in a lot. But the pocket issue was still there. I'm like, no, he just designed it where these pants are oddly stretched on here, and it just looks sloppy. And let's see, the spikes here from the Solar Forge miniatures, there's only 2 on the arm and one is nubbed down, and I'm like, wait, that just looks bad. Shouldn't there be? It almost looks like there should have been a third spike there. It's kind of malformed. One's going in one direction, one's kind of stubbed in another, and there's a weird little nub over here. In the JG Forge print, there's actually three spikes coming out, but they aren't really spaced evenly, and that's like kind of weird to me. And again, I think that's just how Ugni designed this. And I say that because in the back, in the tail area, once again, you're seeing the tail spikes here, but they're not uniformly placed around. And I think that was just how the guy designed it, and to me, that just screams sloppy. So, I wouldn't have been so surprised by this if there was a 360-degree preview of this. Same could be said for this back ear over here. I don't know if you could see this here. There's a weird little nub coming out the back of his ear, and I painted it in his armor, but that could have been a misprint, but I have no idea why that little bit is there. It's just random. So, yeah. There's a few other instances of where things just don't match up. Like this catcher, for example, his catching hand is comically larger than his other hand, and I don't know if that's because he's wearing a special glove. Maybe it's supposed to just like exaggerate the fact that he's supposed to be a catcher, but it's just kind of sloppy. And where is this little guy over here? So let's see, here we go. In the Silver Forge Miniatures version of this guy, with the bad ear that was done, and one of my complaints was the face was a bit misshapen. Oh yeah, and his hands are ridiculously deformed and badly printed here. On the JG Forge print, everything is super sharp on this guy, but the face is still a little wonky, and per closer inspection, I think it's just that it's just a sloppy design because the face is just oddly kind of warped and not uniform. Maybe he just wanted to have like some facial deformation, like the guy's like, but it's just kind of off. But then again, I'm trying to like put realistic expectations on a bunny man. So maybe that's just me. But then if you look closer, you can notice even the helmet lines are a bit uneven here. And I don't know, I think Ugni Miniatures just isn't as clean as to what I expect from other creators. From what I've seen on these rabbits, it's not really uniform, and that's something for me to get used to. Again, this is me pixel peeping almost, you could say, toward these things, but it's a thing. Would I get more Ugni prints after this? Would I recommend Ugni Miniatures after this? Yeah. Actually, I would. If Ugni got into the habit of, one, having a public list of authorized vendors so that I and other buyers can know who has the right to buy from him, that would help out a lot. I will say that some of the people that I've gotten who are on the list he sent me, who are authorized creators, I've bought from them before, and they were not really good. So I don't know if there's anything he could do on his end to like make sure the people who are representing him are doing right, but that's an Ugni problem. Hopefully he could fix that in the future, or if maybe it's not an Ugni problem. Maybe that's just an us issue, because it's not really his responsibility to make sure those vendors are doing their jobs right. Like, it's the market that fixes it. We need more people to give these guys bad reviews and stop giving them passes. One thing that happens on Etsy is there's a lot of like messaging to smooth over the problems that happen. So oftentimes if, like, let's say John sends me a bad print and I give him a 1-star review, I will get 100% credit, and he will swear to God to send me a better print. And sometimes, let's say he does, just for me to change the review. Now, sometimes I've done that in the past, and it hit me, I shouldn't do that anymore, because realistically, you just got caught selling shit, and you shouldn't have to make it up. And other times, some vendors are like, well, I'll make it up on your next order. It's like, why should I do another order with you? You fucked up. So, I don't know. I don't know how it could be fixed. I mean, the only other thing I think of is trying to reach out to vendors with great reputation, like Crybomancer's Cauldron, like JG Forge, and trying to establish good relationships with them. But again, the other problem is what happens if Crabbo starts doing sloppy work, or if JG starts doing sloppy work, then once again, Ugni's starting just left to look bad, flapping in the wind. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know how to fix that problem. Like, maybe there should be some sort of disclaimer on a website. Like, I mean, obviously, but I am not responsible from bad Etsy prints. It's just a shame that so many vendors on Etsy can put out half-ass work like these Amazons that just came out looking like shit, like these blood elves that just came horrifically printed. I've gotten a bunch, and all it does is make Ugni look bad, but Ugni hasn't done anything bad, you know? It's just the people who are misrepresenting him. That's kind of messed up. But this experience makes me want to try, when I can afford it, to get more Ugni prints, because these rabbits came out great. And this Amazon team looks like it could be such fire if it was only printed correctly. Like, I'm holding these girls. I already printed up a set of Ugni Amazons, and they're disappointing because oh man, just so many problems. But when you look at the renders, oh my God, they look like an amazing painting project. And oh my God, they're just beautiful minis. I painted up one set, and I have these girls here. I'm like, they've been primed for a while, and I just really didn't want to start them because, again, half of them literally might have details on the left side, but not on the right side. The head's missing details. Some of them are missing faces. And it's just like, I don't know if I really want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But if I can get them from JG Forge in the future when I can afford them, maybe I have a good set of Amazons. Ugni recently came out with an awesome set of Mad Max-inspired Black Orcs that looked like a wonderful new set, a new Black Orc set, and an awesome new Goblin team as well. And I'm like, I don't need it, but I want it. And I know Ugni has released a bunch of other miniatures in the past that were kind of interesting, and this really does make me want to give them a second look. So, can I recommend Ugni miniatures? Yes, sort of, but only through JG Forge's Etsy account right now. I can't afford to shop with every vendor on Etsy, so I can't give you. Maybe you'd help me out with channel memberships, and maybe we can get that process going. But yes, I will recommend Ugni again, and if and when I do, I will also link directly to JG Forge's Etsy and then website. And I'm curious about going to Ugni's back catalog because I know he's made a few interesting things in the past. I'm like, maybe. I mean, I don't need more teams, but I always want more teams, and I would love to have another talented creator to follow whose work I'm excited about and genuinely excited about. And I would love to promote another creator whose work genuinely has me excited. So yeah. Anywho, I got these guys too late for Easter. There was no way I was going to paint them up in time and play them, but I have them now. And they will be painted as two Easter teams. I have some pastel colors. So the plan is to either make one set of, well, I already have blue rabbits. So maybe I can do yellow fur rabbits and pink fur rabbits and try to have them as pastel-y as possible for Easter. So hopefully next year, you guys will see Easter battle reports, and or we just have some more holiday themed teams. But I will say, I love these prints. They're a little wonky here and there. They got some odd bits. Like if you really pour over the details, you'll find things where some gloves just don't seem as symmetrical as they should be. Some details aren't as evenly placed as it seems like they would be in comparison to Brute Fun miniatures or Games Workshop miniatures. But they're fun. They're really fun miniatures. And this is, I guess I could look at this as almost as art. Like how I would look at traditional 2D art, how there's some art styles that are less realistic than others, more cartoony than my traditional cup of tea, but there's still a charm there. And goddamn, these are some charming fucking miniatures. Part of me finds the gigantic hand here a bit off-putting and goofy, but it's a fucking rabbit man, you know? This is like Looney Tunes shit, and it's, it's kind of cool too. And honestly, I kind of find myself loving it. It's almost like watching a new anime or new cartoon, or getting into hanging out with making an artist friend whose work doesn't immediately catch your eye, but you see the cool stuff there. I can see myself over time learning to love the aesthetic that Ugni brings to the table. Because I found myself, again, going back and poring over the details of the 2D examples that he has out, and it's like, yeah, these are kind of zany. This isn't like realistic style. This is kind of Looney Tunes, kind of fun, kind of like, I don't know, maybe not quite graffiti, but like don't expect too many straight lines sort of thing. And then when you go into with those expectations in mind, you gotta forgive a lot of stuff. And I will say the miniatures are so impressive that even with a bad print, like I got with these guys, once I painted them up, I loved them. I still love them. Like I was so excited to paint these guys, even with the problems that, yes, when I was painting them, I was like, oh man, I wish these were perfect. But every single miniature was fun to paint, despite the flaws, despite the defects. And I wanted to paint the next one. And I was done with this team. I wanted more. And when JG Forge came through clutch with these, I want to paint these. I want to love these things. I want to play these things. Squeak. Okay, sorry. I'm excited about this. This is cool. And I'm like, okay, so what other cool projects can I get from Ugni in the future? I really am looking forward to that Black Orc / Goblin team from the Mad Max inspired set. The Halloween team he put out with all the serial killers is kind of interesting. And it's like dabbling in a new art style, watching a new anime or cartoon or something, where it's just like, all right, this isn't my normal cup of tea, but this is, how would I describe it? This is SpongeBob to my normal Thundercats. This is Ed, and Eddie compared to my normal Cowboy Bebop. And wildly different, but really interesting and fun. And sometimes you're just kind of in the mood for the funness. I mean, it actually just does hit to the spirit of why I love the holiday teams and painting them up in holiday ways. Because sometimes I just want something different and fun and a little zany. So I can take and learn to love the exaggerated faces and poses, and learn to be okay with the lack of uniformity, because these are kind of toony, and that's this guy's style. And I kind of like it. And there are plenty of artists that I followed over the years, whose work evolves over time, or whose work just stays this way because this is who they are. This is their art. And you don't have to always love what they do, but as long as you like some of it, you could follow them and be okay with it. So maybe there'll be some Ugni sets that I buy, I'm like, oh my God, these are fire. And so I'm like, I'm going to skip that. It's just not my thing. So yeah, long-winded way of saying, I got great new minis. Yeah, I got 2 new painting projects. Yeah, I found a new vendor I want to buy stuff from. Yeah, I found a new Etsy person I could trust. Yeah. And Ugni, thank you so much for making these rabbits, making this team, and sharing your art. Sorry if I came off too much of an asshole, but this is kind of who I am. But I do like your work, and I am looking forward to buying and rebuying more of your work, because I do like a lot of what you do, and I can see myself becoming a genuine, honest fan and supporter of yours. Thank you very much for sharing your talent. JG Forge, dude, you earned a good review. I look forward to buying more from you, and hopefully, recommending plenty of people to shop with you. Thank you so much for caring about what you put out there. Seriously, not many people out there who are giving a damn when they get an order and shipping it. You do, and it shows, and I thank you very much for it. And to everyone else who's watching this, thank you so much for sticking around. Please be awesome and like, subscribe, hit the notification button. If you really want to help out, please support me with channel membership. I really need the money because I have a plastic resin addiction, and I need more. Also, rent. But yeah, have a good night, guys.